The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful week, that as you are in this midst of the holiday season, that you're remembering to find time for you. And I want to celebrate that today, right now, is a time to support you. So we are leaning in, myself and our experts that are joining us today, to really empower and support you today. We're going to be talking about how to tap into your holiday relationship magic. I believe many of us are looking for some magic during the holiday season, and we aren't always feeling it. Sometimes we are, and we're celebrating, and we're not sure how to keep that magic going. Other times we may be feeling pressured and stressed and not quite sure where the magic is in the moment. And so today we're going to really talk about how to bring that in a practical and a profound way. And relationship isn't just relationships we have with others. It can be our relationship with money, with our business, with health, with our body, with time. And a lot of these areas are things that we focus on this time of year, that we're starting to plan, we're looking ahead, we're evaluating kind of where we are in these things in 2015. And I want to give you a moment to just think about where you are in relationship to the things that you were wanting to work on. When we looked back at January 2015, what are things that you kind of wanted to step forward in, and just doing a quick check of whatever those main things were that you wanted to move forward in, kind of where are you in them? Are you moving in the direction you were hoping to? Does it feel like it's been a little bit flat, that there hasn't been a lot of progress? Or maybe it even feels like you've gone backwards a little bit. And I want to invite you just to look, no judgment, no criticism, but really awareness. Like, as we're reflecting back on 2015, what are some things that we can celebrate? That we have, that we are, that we did. Things that we can really take for a moment, a celebration moment. I think sometimes we move so quickly to the next thing, we forget to pause and really celebrate things that we've had in our life, that we've done, that we've stretched in, that we've tried, that we're moving forward in, that we've learned something in. And then it's a great moment to also think about, what is it that I want to carry forward into 2016? What do I want to release? What do I want to bring forward as I'm going into 2016? What do I want to release that isn't serving me anymore, that I am complete with and I'm ready to move forward in 2016 in these areas? And I want all of this information top of mind as we go through our conversation today, because I believe the tips and tools and concepts that we're going to share with you will empower you, will help you further celebrate 2015 and what it has brought to you, and really be leaning forward with anticipation the things that you're claiming and stepping into in 2016. And we want to give you support in that in a practical way and a profound way. And I want to celebrate all of you. You all have been on the journey with us, and you've taken a moment out of your busy schedule today to feed into you, to nourish you, to empower you. And that is a moment to celebrate and acknowledge and breathe in and appreciate. Because I believe the greatest gift you can give someone is the gift of you, bringing forward your gifts, your talents, your abilities, the unique things that make up you and how you touch the world. That is a great gift. And I want to celebrate the gift of you today, being part of our journey. So breathe that in. Beautiful. For those of you who are able to, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Those of you who are driving, please keep your eyes open, be safe, alert, both hands on the wheels, no texting and driving. We definitely want you to join us in 2016 in a happy and healthy way. For those of you who are able to, though, I encourage you to really sit back, feel the chair supporting you, put both feet on the floor. Take a breath. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on the top of your head, and go ahead and close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Take a deep breath with me from the belly. Beautiful. And in this space, eyes closed, I want to bring all of you in, heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And what is it that you need today that will support you, that will encourage you? On a practical and a profound level, what is it that you need, that you're celebrating, that you're leaning into, stepping forward in 2016 and holding all of that, knowing all of that? What is it that you need today? Because we don't have to wait till January 1st. We can actually start claiming and moving into those things today, real time. So again, the question is, what is it that you need to serve and support you during this amazing time of year that we are celebrating and transitioning and moving forward? What is it that you need? It can be a thought, an idea, a memory, a scent, a picture, all different kinds of ways that information can come in. But I'd love for you to receive it. And when you have what it is that you need today or that's being laid upon your heart to lean into, I want you to go ahead and open up your eyes, take another breath. Beautiful. And go ahead and capture that information. I encourage you to write it down and look at it and really claim whatever it is that's being laid upon your heart. When we can keep it top of mind, it's much easier to recognize when the opportunities are coming towards us that will lead us down that path, that will lead us in that direction. When we can keep it top of mind, the next step or the thing that we need that will be supportive of us, we can recognize it and see it and move forward that much more quickly. That's really a power of pausing and really being present and leaning in to the next thing that will serve and support you on your journey. Wonderful. Great. So, Dr. Darwin, I was wondering if you had something laid upon your heart that you would like to share with our listeners today.
You know, one of the things that I've worked on all year this year, and still am not quite satisfied with the results, is developing my personal intuition. And I think that's one of the ones that I really do want to work on more in 2016. That quality of intuition really tells you the truth. And can learn to listen to that and understand it. There's really no situation that it shouldn't be used in. And so that's where I am. I need to develop that more fully.
Well, I celebrate that that's something you've been working on and leaning into, and support you in claiming that as you're stepping forward in 2016. I agree that personal intuition is so key And I know for me, my tendency is to move on to the next thing, and I can forget to pause and listen. And when I do, that's when I can hear better. So I know for me, that's an ongoing journey as well. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Dr. Karen, how about you? Did you have something laid upon your heart to share?
To rely on other people and trust them. I didn't have the opportunity to rely on other people for many, many years. It came down to I had to do it or it didn't get done. And I've been blessed in finding Darwin later on in life and having someone I can rely on. But it's been difficult to truly allow other people fully in and allow them to share in their greatness and their glory to their fullness. And I've been working on that, and this next year I'm fully embracing it. I'm not turning everything over to them. I still need to do my own work, but I am going to embrace other people and trust them that they will follow through.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And that is a very scary step, I know, to keep stepping in and trusting and relying on others to follow through. But what a gift to be able to do that and step into that. So I celebrate that and claim that with you. Absolutely. Beautiful. And listeners, I want to really claim whatever it is that is laid upon your heart that you have been working are working on, are stepping into, and really lean into that. Because I believe when we can come together energetically, live, on these types of mediums and support one another, it is not a solo journey. We can support each other energetically, claiming what it is that we're seeking and lifting up and celebrating with each other as we move forward. And so a lot of what's laid upon my heart over and over and over, so it's a little bit in alignment with what you're sharing, Dr. Karen, is it's not a solo journey. And that is something that I know many of you, if you've been listening to the show for a while, have heard me say that. But it's partly to remind myself that it is not a solo journey. We don't have to do everything on our own, figure out everything that needs to be done and try to push all of it forward. That we really can seek help and get help and have people walk alongside us and be in their genius. And I find life is richer that way, and I can accomplish more and actually be more in my genius when I remember that. And so I want to encourage any of you who perhaps are feeling a little alone or that it is a solo journey, I want to encourage you to look up a little bit and out a little bit further and see if there's a way that you can reach your hand out. Maybe let someone come in just a little bit closer. Sometimes we're expecting people to reach through their comfort zone to reach towards us, and we can actually lead that, where we can reach through some of our comfort zone and extend our hand. It can be of help, it can be of support, it can be sharing some of our vulnerability. I want to encourage you to do that, because life is so much richer when we can weave it together with others. So as we go into our first commercial break, I want to encourage you to really sit in this space, see what it is that you're celebrating, what are you claiming, and what are you really moving powerfully forward in, starting now and into 2016. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall-Griter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that commercial break and you got a chance to really sink in and see what it is that you need. What is it you're celebrating and really stepping into? Because as we start talking about relationships and what you're bringing into your life, it's really important to have clarity on what it is that you're wanting to bring into your life, that you're wanting to move towards, that you have clarity on kind of where you're at in your relationship areas around money and business and health and body and your intuition, trust, whatever it is that you're wanting to move forward in. It's important to kind of know where you are in that and then where you want to go. And then you can start developing a plan on a practical level, which are steps that you take, and on a profound level that you're on a mindset and what you're saying to yourself is really supportive to where you're wanting to go. Today, as we shift into our interview segment, I wanted to share a little bit about our guests that have joined us today. You got to hear a little bit of their voice and their heart and where they're at and what they're claiming and focusing on and moving towards. That, all of us are on this journey. But I wanted to share a little bit of their background. So today we have Dr. Darwin and Dr. Karen Perkins joining us. They are coaches and consultants. They have spent decades really helping individuals recognize, because again, we have to recognize, and fulfill their true potential. They are known as the happily ever after experts and believe attractability begins with you. And I just want to underline that, because if it begins with you, then that means you have the ability to attract what you want. So I really, really love that. So attractability begins with you. You get to be in the driver's seat, in a leadership position in your life, and that with that, attractability begins with you to attract the right job, friends, relationships, and to become authentically, and I want to add fully, you. So please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Dr. Darwin and Dr. Karen Perkins to the show. Yay! Welcome.
Yay.
Thank you, Rebecca.
We're excited to be here.
I'm excited to have both of you joining us. What a treat. And listeners, I know you're going to enjoy their energy and the conversation, and they've already given me permission to go off script if we feel led. So energetically send me those questions, send me emails, things that you're wondering, or feel free to call in. That number is shared every break, and we would love to include you in our conversations to really serve and support you. But before we get too deeply into our conversation, I wanted to actually ask both of you a question. I'd love to have both of you answer this, and that is really why. why is the work that you do so personally important to you? Why do you do what you do?
Okay, I will start because she pointed at me. So
Perfect.
Anyway, really, the thing that we have found over our careers has been that the real joy and the real happiness comes from helping other people to move into a new environment, something that is better for them, helping them to get that aha or to understand something about them that they didn't understand before so they can start to clear the field and move forward. That is just an incredible feeling because most people don't have that ability. They don't have the ability to look at themselves and say, I need to fix this, and this is how I can do it. Everybody can say, I suck, but getting past the I suck and how do I not suck, that's the hard part.
I love this. Thank you so much for sharing. That how part can be so daunting and intimidating. And that's why I really want to encourage all of you and myself always as well. I always have people and experts in my life. It's not a solo journey. And a lot of it, we're so much inside ourselves that we can't always see the how. We can see maybe what we want different, maybe not always how we want it to be, and then how to get there. So I love that. I love that that's the work that you do and that you are so passionate about it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Dr. Absolutely. Dr. Karen, what about you?
Well, and to piggyback on that, I'm selfish. I like seeing the aha in people's faces and eyes. I like seeing their lights light up. I like seeing them walk down the street with a purpose and with joy. And if I can be a part of that, it just, I'm selfish. I need that. I want that. I desire that. I haven't always been able to walk down the street with that skip in my step and that, joy in my heart. And so, when you find something like that and you can help other people find it, you got to do it. And I guess, it's selfish in one way because I want to feel good and see it, but at the same time, I really do want to help other people, and I want them to find the joy and happiness that they so deserve, and everyone deserves joy and happiness.
I agree. For those of you who can't tell, I'm nodding as Dr. Karen is sharing that I agree, and I love what you've created in your life, actually both of you, that and you're calling it selfish, but I think that I don't always feel like it's that, because I think if we can bring to the world something that also fills us, then we can do it endlessly because it's not draining. It's something that gives us a spark and helps lift us up. And so then we can keep pouring into others and will, in a sense, never be empty. We'll always be full and have an endless supply to serve and encourage us. And I think that's when we really step into our power and our gifts and our talents, that it does feed and nourish us. And I love that you know so clearly that feeds you. You need that. You want that. And it brings that spring into your step. And it's so beautiful that it's doing that for so many others. So thank you for sharing. Love it.
Yeah, I really appreciate try that again. Spit that out today. I appreciate seeing people who are willing to allow themselves to find happiness, and really service is its own reward.
Yep. So I'm just letting that sink in for everybody and celebrating wanting happiness in your life and willing to lean into that and get support. Again, it's not a solo journey in your life, whatever that may be, encouragement, celebration, so that you can really bring happiness into your life. And just for me, I found I spent many years of my life chasing other people's definitions of success. And it wasn't because I felt like I needed to do that. It's because and I wasn't even conscious. It's how I heard people I admired define success. And I would go and do it and then find dissatisfaction because it wasn't completely aligned with how I was made and wired. But when you're so busy moving along, climbing the next thing, you don't necessarily stop and recognize that. And it was after doing that many years, I sat and finally figured out who I was on a deeper level and how I define success. And that pausing and listening and defining what happiness is to you, I want to encourage you to take this opportunity at the end of the year and reflecting and looking forward to just check in and really define your happiness, define what success is for you and what it is that you want in your life, and that gives you that skip in their step. I love it. So great. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate both of you sharing in that way. Now, there were some things that perked my interest as I was going through your bio and introducing you that I just thought were really unique. Do you mind sharing about attractability, what you mean by attractability begins with you?
Yeah, let me start with that. One of the things that you'll notice, I mean, you've got examples of this all throughout your life. Somebody walks into a room, you look at that person, you go, I need to know more about this person. And you don't know why. And they may not even necessarily be beautiful, cute, handsome, debonair, whatever, but there's just something about them that you need to know more about. Likewise, you get these people where they walk into the room, you go, okay, I think I'm going to ignore that one. And so what that is you can call it a spirit, you can call it a soul, you can call it an aura, whatever you're comfortable with, but that is that internal projection. How do I feel about myself? How do I think about myself? What do I have to offer? And really, do I really want to be of service to other people is what it comes down to. And that is immediately identifiable because you have that same kind of aura, and it resonates with those people who are the kind, gentle, outgoing, lovable, on and on. You can use any adjective you want there. But that's the thing that really helps us to move forward in this area.
Beautiful. Thank you. And
I want to just piggyback on that if I can for a second, Rebecca.
Sure.
We ask about how do we find the right people in our lives, the right jobs, the right friends, the right soulmate, and we say you got to be the one to find the one. And we had a beautiful friend not too long ago as we were talking say, you got to write down 50 things that you're looking for in a soulmate. And then as you look at those 50 things, go back and check which ones you have strength in and which ones you don't. And if you don't have the strength there, you need to develop it.
So you take those 50 things, you put the words I am in front of it, and you start repeating those every day.
Beautiful. I love this. So now we are actually getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So here's an opportunity for those of you to lean in and really think about what are the things that you want in another, and do that quick check-in and see where you are in that, because that's the part you can really move forward in and take action on. So as we go into our next commercial break, I encourage you real time to take out a pen and paper and start jotting down some of those things. And when we come back, we will continue our conversation and dig into the subject at a deeper level. We look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Tune in for Suzanne Ross and Lighten Up TV, evolutionary wellness for the body, mind, and spirit. Each episode features Suzanne and her amazing guests. including inspirational authors, speakers, wellness experts, and spiritual guides. This series is focused on achieving total well-being so that you can live well and love life. Visit lightenuptv.net to find out more. Lighten Up TV is presented by the Awakening Center, a nonprofit for those seeking a higher way of living and being. Don't miss out on living your best life now. Go to lightenuptv.net today.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you got a chance to start writing some of those things down that you're looking for or wanting in another. And I would actually keep adding that, not just in a relationship with another person, but also with your business, with your money, with your intuition, with things that you're working on. Really take a moment to check out some of where you are in that and where you want to go, because this is a great time of year to reflect and celebrate and lean into where you are wanting to go in relationship to others, as well as areas that you're wanting to work on. Now, I wanted to touch on one more thing that I found really interesting in the bio that I shared with all of you. And you can see the more detailed bio on our site, but I wanted to highlight something. And something Dr. Karen and Dr. Darwin, I know that you shared or call yourselves, are the happily ever after experts. Do you mind defining what you mean by happily ever after?
Well, happily ever after isn't just that fairy tale. And it's certainly not Prince Charming in the glass slipper. It's being able to be thrilled with what's going to happen tomorrow, being thrilled with what's happening today, be it that you love your job, be it that you love the people that you surround yourself, be it that you love yourself when you're alone. And that happily ever after comes from within. And you, again, want to go back to attracting the job that's going to help make you happy. You want to attract the relationships, the friendships. You want to attract the money, whatever it is. And so for me, happily ever after is just allowing yourself to be authentically you, be beautifully you, and allowing in around you the things that are going to make your life better and enhance who you are.
Beautiful. I love that. So in a way, we get to write our own happily ever after.
That's absolutely true, and that's why it's so important that the things that we think and the baggage that we carry has to be taken away as quickly as possible and be turned to the positive, because those positive things truly do make you more optimistic. They make your life happier in general, and they give you that understanding or that true belief that your life actually does get better every day.
Love it. Beautiful. And I'm just pausing because I want to give everyone an opportunity to really let that sink in and really writing your own happily ever after. And I liked what you also shared, Dr. Karen, that it comes from within. I think sometimes we're waiting for it on the outside and why isn't it coming and getting frustrated, whereas it actually can come from within, and that we can write our story, in a sense, our own fairy tale, and we can live it every day getting closer, which brings more of that happiness and joy from within, and every day bringing us closer and closer to our happily ever after. So I love that. But there's... True. But I know a lot of us maybe have experiences where we have had some negative things happen to us that perhaps our childhood or other experiences as we've gone along in life have not been happily ever after. And so we can struggle sometimes to actually move towards that, especially if it's new to us or not familiar. And we actually may feel like we have more experience with the non-happily ever after types of things. And I know with both of your respective backgrounds and expertise that you really can help people around that have had some past events that are not so shiny really be released and move forward. Do you mind sharing a little bit about, one, how do these past events kind of affect today, and why is it important to get support around them? And what can we do?
Sure. Well, I like to use the mountain meadow analogy. So let me tell you about that in 30 seconds or less. When you were a kid, very young child, your life was essentially like an open mountain meadow. You know, there were no boundaries. You could run, you could go anywhere, you could do anything, you could think anything, you could want anything, you could set a path for anything. But as things progressed, you ran into something. And you go, I'm just not going there again. And up went a barrier. And you ran into another thing, and up went another barrier. And you ran into another thing, and up went another barrier. What happened wasn't that thing was necessarily bad, or that you were even mature enough to be able to understand what was happening at that point. But a barrier went up that said, I'm not going there anymore. And so your thought processes, the way you evaluated information, and even your decisions then became based on those barriers that you set up. And because of that, you are who you are today. The real problem that most people have is not in the present. The real problem most people have is not being able to identify and get rid of those barriers that you set up so long ago that have got you essentially chained to one point in time.
You know, we don't need to live a Pollyanna life. And for those who are old enough to remember Pollyanna, I'm always aged when people say who. It's like, what? We don't have to live that perpetual, everything is beautiful and wonderful and happy. I mean, goodness, those that know me a couple months ago, I just went, yeah, no, this is not good. But we get past that. And we have to take those barriers down. And those barriers and those I'm not happy right this moment typically links to something from the past, and that amplifies it. And so we need to really get to the core of what is it it's linking to and identify it, acknowledge it, get rid of it, so that when things amplify now, they amplify for the positive and not for things that are not necessary.
So if we are looking to do that, if we're looking to maybe release, I was thinking of the meadow example, release some of those things that have stopped us and have felt like a barrier in our life, and then we're kind of running into it now, what are some things that we can do to do that?
Some of them are like Karen mentioned. Mm-hmm. You really do have the ability in many cases to go and evaluate that and say, is that really something that I am now? This happened when I was a teenager, or this happened when I was 5 years old, and go back and look at it realistically. Is that how I would handle this thing now? And in most cases, the answer is no. Some of the things, though, are things you have totally forgotten. You don't even know they are causing you problems at this point. And because of that, you may need help from someone. Now, someone like us, I deal a great deal with what we call trapped emotions, and it's exactly that. When you have a bad experience in your life, what's the first thing people say to you? They say, get over it, right? Well, mm-hmm. First thing they say, gee, I'm sorry, and then get over it, right? But you don't. What you do is you take a little piece of that and you put it somewhere in your body and you trap it. And you live with that as now, this is how my life is. You've got to get rid of those. And if you can't figure out the way to do it yourself, then you go to find an expert who can help you to do that. I'm not the only one in the world, so I'm not saying come to me. It's just you need to identify that there are problems that are beyond your ability to solve. And some of them can be handled very quickly.
So with this, because I'm hearing a concept with both of you sharing about kind of holding up this mirror, doing a reality check, for right now, pausing, I reacted this way, I'm feeling that way, and really seeing if that is still true for you. what are some, but to me, it's almost like you're being caught off guard. And in the moment, it can be a little bit hard to, when you're feeling these emotions and they're sneaking up on you, to really stop and evaluate. We can frequently do that after. But what are some indicators that maybe we have trapped emotion issues going on that we may want to lean into? Are there certain indicators or patterns that we can recognize, oh, this seems to be running me a little bit, and maybe I want to either start looking proactively, holding up a mirror, evaluating some of these things, or not? You know, I guess I would love to know if there's some indicators, and then I'd also like to know, when do we know we need help versus doing it on our own? I'd love to know those two things.
Well, I want to say, first off, is you got to listen to your self-talk and your talk about and to other people.
Okay.
And when I say to, I also mean about. You know, if I'm really nice to everybody, but I'm telling you, oh, my goodness, so-and-so did this, and oh, can you believe she wore that, and he did. Okay, that is an indicator that I have something I need to reevaluate about me. Okay, criticism, not helpful critiquing, but criticism is personal self-evaluation and bringing it forward. And so you need to do that. Watch your self-talk. Listen to your self-talk. And if you find that you are frustrated more than once in a while, you definitely need to sit down and begin to meditate and say, okay, what's this frustration from? What is it that I'm actually feeling? You got to feel your emotions, feel them fully. Feel them, appreciate them, acknowledge them, and then deal with them. And then once you go through the stages of grief when you have an emotion, and it doesn't matter what emotion it is, you go through that shock, denial, frustration, all of them. Anytime you go through a change in emotion, well, you got to deal with that and then move beyond it. But you can't until you've acknowledged it.
Perfect. So this real incongruency that we can have in how we're the negative self-talk or criticism of ourselves or others can be indicators that a lot of that's going on, and some things to perhaps lean into and look at. And when do we know it's time to get support in this?
I think that's one of those that I hate to say it, but everybody screwed up. You know, so yeah, we've all got our own personal set of baggage. We've all got our own really negative things that happen to us in our lives. And quite frankly, given that we're the instantaneous generation, when we know that we need something, I think the answer to that question is we all need it. You know, some of us has the ability to do some of that work without having any other intervention. You know, you can read the books and you can try the experiments and see how far you get. But quite frankly, you really do need to go find somebody, help essentially pull out those nasty things. For instance, Dr. Karen, she works a lot with addictions in some fashion. And the work that she does is she does a one-time experience. You know, they go in, they get whatever it is, they find the root of that thing, and it's gone. And with it, the addiction goes. And so it's a very interesting process. For me, it's not being able to move forward in some fashion, like she was saying, anger management, or not being able to exercise. Maybe you set a New Year's resolution every year for the last 20 years that you're going to go out and exercise and get in shape, and yet 3 weeks later you're done. You know, those kinds of things are indications of trapped emotions that are driving you. Bo Bennett once said, if there's an argument between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, the unconscious always wins. You know, and that's because you personally don't know how to reprogram that, to drag out that crap that is there, that's continually running. And so I think you really do need those experts as soon as possible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're actually getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And I agree that I think we can try a lot of these things on our own and make some progress. But to me, it's a harder journey with more skinned knees versus really leaning in and getting loving guidance and support from someone who's able to really expertly on my behalf or on your behalf guide you through it. So I really encourage everyone to lean into building a support team around you of experts to help guide you on your journey. We are going to our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to share an exciting gift to support you. Look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. My goodness, this show has gone so quickly. I hope that you are enjoying it just as much as we are. And I'm looking forward in this closing segment to sharing a few more things to really empower you on your journey. And before we get into the next piece, I wanted to wish you a very, very happy new year. That I want to really support you in all that you're doing, all that you're building and claiming in your life. And just know that we are here to serve and support you to really bring forward all that you are wanting to bring forward in your life. It's not a solo journey. We're here every week wanting to support and encourage you and cheer you on and give you great tips and resources so that you can keep moving forward every week, every day on those things that are most important to you. And I want to suggest that that is really bringing you forward powerfully. And to support you in this, I ask my guests to always bring a gift from their heart to support you on your journey. I hope the information we've shared with you today has really resonated and supported you. And I wanted to give you access to the experts like I have. And so we've created a free gift page that you can lean into and say yes to those gifts that resonate with you. So in a moment, I will share how to get there. But beforehand, I wanted to make sure you knew what the amazing gift was that Dr. Karen and Dr. Darwin are making available to you. So would you guys mind explaining and sharing about your gift?
I would love to do that, so with Darwin, but I'm going to do it. I would love to. You know, we all have a moment where we just don't feel like we're worthy. And we want to give the gift, especially for 2016, of everyone having that daily affirmation to reinforce that, yes, you are worthy. And we all do self-talk, and self-talk is affirmation, be it positive or negative. And we have a recording that is a daily affirmation recording that is all positive self-talk on the fact that you really are worthy, you're deserving, you're wonderful, and this is going to help for a healthy, happy life.
Wonderful. So, as a reminder, underscore underlined, in case you wondered today and didn't know, you are absolutely worthy. I just want to affirm that and claim that. And I want to thank you both for making this gift available, that they can have affirmations that will really support them on their journey, so they can have that self-talk really serving and supporting them. So thank you very much for making that available.
You're welcome.
And as I promised, here's how you access this amazing gift. You simply go to Radio Gifts, and that's plural because there's multiple gifts, so radiogifts.net. And when you lean into that, you just click down to today's date, which is December 29th, and you will see Dr. Karen and Dr. Darwin's beautiful picture, as well as information about their gift. You'll want to click on that, put in your name and email address so we can stay in touch with you, and then they can also stay in touch with you. So not only are you getting this amazing gift, but you're also going to get ongoing contact and support on your journey. So I invite you to lean into that, check out the other gifts on the page as well, and choose what are the things that are going to support me on my journey. You can say yes to as many of them as will encourage and support you. Really make 2016 powerful. But you get to lean in and say yes. You get to choose where you want to go, what you want to claim and lean into. And remember, it is not a solo journey. We're all here to serve and support you. And those things that you're wanting to move forward in most effectively, most powerfully, those are the things I find we want to lean in and get some support. It'll help us skin our knees less, move forward more quickly, with more efficiency and actually playing to our strengths rather than trying to figure out and learn everything the hard way on our own. I want to encourage you to lean into saying yes to that kind of support in your life. And then I asked Dr. Darwin and Dr. Karen if they had a final tip or thought that they could share with us. And they both said yes. So I wanted to give you both an opportunity to share a final thought, tip, or suggestion that you may have for our listeners today.
Well, I love this one. Darwin reminds me all the time, that which we focus on expands. And, you know, when things go wrong, acknowledge them and say, yep, that sucks. But don't keep revisiting it and revisiting it. Start looking for things that are going good. And when something goes good, write it down. Have that journal where you keep all of the wonderful things. And revisit it and focus on it, which leads us to what Darwin wanted to tell us about.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that is just incredibly important, and if you're not doing this, do it. Be grateful. When you say your prayers, if you say your prayers, be grateful. You don't need to ask for things. You know, if you believe in a God, you also believe that He's all-knowing and all-powerful. And if that's the case, then He already knows what you want. Just be thankful you're getting what you need. The other thing is when you're meditating, if that's what you choose to do, same thing, be grateful. You don't have to worry about what you want. You don't have to make plans. Plans will come to you. Things will come to you. So be grateful that you have your life, you have the opportunities that you have, and that you have such a wonderful future.
Wonderful. I love this. So we can start a journal, a celebration and grateful journal that we can focus on and expand.
Absolutely.
I love it, love it, love it. So here's a practical and profound tip and activity that you can take from our time together today, is really to build this journal that every day you're capturing those things to celebrate, because we can just move on to the next thing and forget all that we have done and all of those shiny moments. And I want you to have a book, have something you can really go back to and celebrate and remember, especially when you're maybe a little discouraged for a moment. And then things to be grateful for. I love that. So I encourage all of you, build a journal, a grateful and celebration journal. Title it 2016. And you may even want to look back at 2015 to start practicing and building those muscles, and then go into 2016 every day, every week, capturing those beautiful moments, the things that you celebrate, the things that you're grateful for, and focusing on the things you actually do want more of in your life and expanding, not necessarily dwelling on the other, but leaning into proactively those things that you are wanting more of in your life. And then I want to, again, thank you for being part of our show today, really leaning in. I want to thank our experts for sharing from their heart and their wisdom and their experience with us today. Listeners, I want to thank you for sharing your energy on this past year and going forward. And most of all, what I want for you is to remember you are valuable and important and absolutely needed just as you are. You make a huge difference by being you. And I want to invite you to be willing to share the gift of you with all of those around you. Wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. Look forward to talking to you in the new year.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.